So starting with our expectations to support goal number one, and once again, this is for our high school. As I've stated before, we're going to be using two models of delivery resources and tools. And for our high school and middle school, we're going to be focusing on using Google Classroom, which is a tool that many of our students have used. We are a Google district. Everything is connected to their Google account, their email, and it is a free tool, and it's a very efficient, easy to use tool as well, even for those who have not learned it. And that's where I referenced building capacity in our staff and our students and our parents, because we are being forced to learn something new, many of us, and sometimes some of our best learning happens when we have to learn kind of under some pressure. And with this, I think it's going to pay dividends down the road, because once again, we've had a lot of teachers actually utilizing, but we got a lot of teachers who have not had an opportunity to use Google Classroom, and we're learning together, we're teaching one another, and I'm excited for that possibility. So that's first and foremost to let you know that we are going to be focusing on utilizing Google Classroom regardless of the instruction, which can vary from each individual teacher. And with our high school, our expectations, which is the first pillar on the left part of your screen, which talks about lessons. Um, our students have 7 teachers in the course of a day. They have their core teachers, and obviously they have electives and things of that sort. And what we're going to be asking is that each teacher that a student has, so that'd be 7 teachers, designs a lesson focusing on a new learning, on an essential learning standard that will help guide their work throughout the course of the week. And so on Mondays, teachers will have already loaded in their Google Classroom a lesson for students to engage in, and work that will be involved with that as well. And the lesson itself can vary. Even though we're using Google Classroom, teachers can utilize pre-made lessons through Khan Academy. Some teachers are going to design their own lessons and record those. Some may do some things with kind of screencasting. There's a tool called Castify that they can use. Some may choose to do more of a live instructional model. It'll vary, but once again, it will all be supported through Google Classroom. So on that pillar on the left, you see a recommendation of 85 to 150 minutes, and that was really where we spent more time with our staff on Monday. And that recommendation comes from MESA, the group that I referred to in the beginning of this presentation, because there are some expectations in terms of home learning for our students. Because the expectation is not that they're going to be sitting in front of computer screens 6 to 7 hours a day. That's not what home learning looks like. That's not what true homeschooling looks like. But and we're not going to get too wrapped up in terms of the time. We're focusing on the learning. We want students to learn essential, important concepts while they're at home for the remainder of the school year, because that's really what's going to benefit them when they rejoin us back in the fall. The more learning and exposure they can get, the better off they're going to be, and for when they return to our school buildings in August. So. So once again, it's important to know that for high school students that they're going to get one lesson. It's going to be 7 lessons, so 1 per teacher each week, and they're going to work through the lesson and the work that's going to be connected with that throughout the course of that week. Now, please know once again, this could be this is adaptable. It's flexible. We may be, teachers may be adding more work. So we had some teachers ask during our presentation, can they give more for students who may want to do a little more? And we said, absolutely. But what we didn't want to do is just overwhelm people from the onset. This is where we're trying to find that balance of what's realistic at home. Some students are going to be able to do things. They're going to get everything done the first day just because they're eager, and that's just how they operate. Others, it's going to take them throughout the course of the week. And the one thing we do not have control over is that home environment, which I've stated before. And so we have to be conscious of that. And parents have to understand that as well. And so we got to find that balance the best that we can. And it's going to be something we're going to have to get feedback on and learn and adjust to as we progress throughout this process. Now with that, you'll see that we also are offering a paper pencil mode throughout each and every one of these options, because we do have students who are not going to be able to utilize the technology tools. So we are going to be sending home materials that are going to correspond to the exact same learning that students are getting through. Obviously they may have to miss out on some of the instructional videos that are provided, but once again, we're going to do our best to provide materials that can help students continue on with their learning as well. Now, with that being said, we do know that just about every student or family has access to a telephone. And if you have access to a telephone, there are going to be opportunities via Google calls that students can make and have access to. And so they're not going to be disconnected entirely. And so if folks have telephones, which we are confident just about all, if not all, do, that there are opportunities using Google Calls, which is a secure way for folks to connect via their computers and telephones to help with some of this.